morning, everyone, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 12. I've been puttering around all morning doing Sunday reset type stuff because hubby is going back to work tomorrow, and I haven't opened the advent calendar yet, but I want to get my tea on, so let's go ahead and do that now. Ooh, I'm excited to try this. I remember this catching my eye when I was filling the advent calendar. Here is hubby's coffee card. Oh, Pop Coffee Works in Toronto. My collection of dairy milk is growing quite nicely because I still have mine from a couple of days ago. Another something that I bought from Purdy's. I think I only bought 3 things, so this must be the last one. This is a mint melty. I'm almost done with my Sunday reset tasks and I'm about to get to work, but before I do that, I want to taste the tea. This one is called Champagne Splashes, and it's a blend of fine black and green tea with berries, flower petals, and strawberry flavor. I have a feeling I am really going to like this one. It smells good. Cheers! Ooh, this one's really good. Lots of strawberry flavor. There are a bit of tannins, but overall very delicious. Hubby and I wanted to try Chatime's tea of the month. This is the golden aged milk tea. So let's give it a try. I decided not to get toppings because I'm still not super hungry. It's good. There's a really strong tea flavor, which is nice. I'm also going to be trying this flavor of chips for the first time, Filipino adobo. I really love vinegary chips, so I hope the tanginess of the adobo comes through, but we shall see. I don't think it quite tastes like adobo, but I really like that you can taste the vinegar. I find I prefer chips that have a vinegariness to them. Ketchup chips, dill pickle, salt and vinegar, all dressed, and also like a tangy, smoky barbecue. Those are my favorite flavors of chips. I realize I just named like 5 flavors, which is almost all of them. Hubby's favorite flavor is sour cream and onion, and while I do like that flavor, I usually only have 1 or 2. It's just too creamy of a flavor, and I need that vinegar taste to want to keep eating. Day 12 is here. I think I had too much caffeine today. I was feeling really loopy after that bubble tea. I'm feeling a little better now after dinner and after a few hours, I guess. But I am overthinking things right now. Hubby and I play the Tim Hortons hockey challenge, where you pick 3 players who you think will score out of 3 different lists. If you get 1 pick, you get 25 points or an offer from Timmy's. If you get 2 correct, you get 50 points, and if you get 3 correct, I think you get 250 points. So I've been doing okay this year. Usually I'm like pretty bad at it. Right now I am 48th overall, which is the best I've ever done. Usually I'm like way down in the thousands or tens of thousands. The other prize that you can get besides points, if you get 7 days in a row of 1 or more correct picks, you get free coffee for 7 days. So usually I get that maybe like once or twice a season. But this year, from mid-October, when the season started, I've already gotten 2 7-day streaks, and I'm on day 6. So depending on who I pick tonight, I may win free coffee. Now, I am very caffeine sensitive, and whenever we have free coffee, I still get an extra large because it's free and I want like the biggest coffee. But I usually just drink a little bit and I give the rest to hubby. So really, if I win, hubby wins because he gets most of the coffee anyway. But I always overthink things when it's the last day. So I've been thinking about who to pick literally all day, and being overcaffeinated definitely does not help. I think I'm like 99% decided on who I'm going to choose. While we're on this topic, I thought I would share the types of games I play on my phone. So of course, I still play Pokemon Go. That's like one of my favorite games. I play that every day, usually just when I go for a walk. And as well, I think I've talked about Toon Blast. I really love that game. It's very soothing for me. It's a game I like to play when I want to relax. Besides those two games, I also play every single day a bunch of word games. New York Times app. There are 4 different games that I like to play on that app, but they don't take very much time at all. One is Wordle, which you may have heard of. It was a huge sensation for a while when it was independent, and then it got purchased by the New York Times. And for the longest time, I still played on Original Creators website, but then eventually I switched over to the New York Times app. I just play the regular mode. I don't bother with the hard mode. Always start with the same 2 words. And today it worked out really well for me. I got it in 3 tries, but usually it takes me 4 to 5 tries on average, and sometimes I use up all of them and I get it right at the end. After Wordle, I play the mini crossword, and I like this one because it is short and sweet. Today's crossword though did throw me for a loop. I was kind of like off track for a while because I had a couple of words that were wrong. So it took me a little bit longer than it usually does, but typically the mini crossword takes less than a minute. After the mini crossword, I like to play a game that's pretty new. I think it's called Connections. I don't know if this is going to be a staple. Right now I'm liking it, but if I get tired of it, I just won't play it anymore. With this game, you have to find connections between 4 different sets of 4 words. And sometimes they come to me pretty quickly, sometimes it takes a while, and then sometimes I have no idea what the connection could be. It stretches my mind in different ways, and this is the reason I play so many games, is because I want to keep my mind active. I find these games do help with that, especially the word games. And then the last game I play is my current favorite, that's why I save it for last, and it is Spelling Bee. I don't know why, I love that game so much. I really look forward to it. It's like a jolt of excitement when I start that game. I usually play for a little bit in the morning. I'll try to find as many words as I can, and then I'll close the game and I'll go back to it throughout the day whenever I have a little bit of time and I want to find some words. I aim to get to a certain level, either amazing or genius. Sometimes I don't get there, and that's okay too. The next day I don't play it again. I just look at the answers, and I find that I always miss the same words over and over again. It's really strange. I'm like, oh, there's that word again that I missed again. I think this exercise in particular is really helpful for my brain, and I really enjoy it. It's like thoroughly satisfying to open that game, even when it's frustrating because I can't find the words. Day 12 puzzle is done. I like this puzzle, but I found it kind of tricky, maybe because it's all the same color and also there's like a window. All right, I think it's time to pick. Cross your fingers for me. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 13. Oh, I was like, the bag is so light today, and that's because I put the chocolate in here, because if I put them in the bag, they wouldn't fit in the cubby. I had forgotten about these. Let's see what we have for tea and coffee. Here is Hubby's coffee. Dose in Revelstoke. I don't know where that is. I'm excited to look it up. We have royal dessert today, and this looks like it's a caffeine-free infusion. That's very fitting because I have a lot to talk about in terms of caffeine. Will I steep this now? I'm gonna steep this later. I'm gonna have a bit of puzzling time before my team meeting today. We are on day 13, which is in this corner here. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, but I had too much caffeine yesterday, and today I don't feel very good. I'm feeling a few heart palpitations, and my body is generally wanting to reject caffeine. So I decided to have an herbal infusion this morning. This is just lemon balm, and I'm gonna risk the caffeine withdrawal headache. I guess the mixed news is that I did end up getting my 7-day streak. So I won a week of coffee. I was chatting with Hubby this morning and telling him that I overdid it with caffeine yet again. And so I gave him a couple of options for my free coffee. He wasn't too keen on me trying to give them all away. So I am going to get us decaf today. I can get a steeped tea instead, and I have done that before, but the Timmy's steeped tea I find is also really strong, and the one time I tried it, it did still affect me in terms of the amount of caffeine. It's not a great option, unfortunately, and Hubby doesn't really care for the steeped tea, so it would be mostly me drinking it. At least with the coffee, Hubby can drink it, and he doesn't seem to get the same ill effects from caffeine, or at least he doesn't notice it. He drinks a lot of coffee, and now he's drinking coffee and tea, and he seems to be okay. He never really says anything about it. In fact, he drinks coffee morning, noon, and evening. It's strange that this keeps happening. It's like I don't respect my body when it comes to caffeine, which is really strange because I've gotten so much better at listening to my body in terms of what and how much to eat, as well as in terms of alcohol. I've noticed that alcohol doesn't make me feel very good, especially if I have more than like 1 or 2 drinks. So I've been really good with moderating my alcohol consumption, but for whatever reason, caffeine is still very tricky for me. So I've been thinking about that a lot this morning, and also last night because I didn't sleep very well. It took me a long time to fall asleep, and I tossed and turned pretty much all night. So I think what I'm gonna do is, besides moderating my caffeine intake today by having an herbal infusion instead, I'm gonna do my best to remember how this makes me feel. It's mostly the heart stuff that's a bit concerning. It doesn't feel very good, and I'm just like mentally very jittery. So I don't want to feel that way. I want to respect my body, and I want to feel good as much as I can. There's enough in this world to throw us off and to make us feel out of sorts, and I don't want to contribute to it by being over caffeinated. So I'm a little bit frustrated with myself today, but I'm also trying to have self-compassion because my theme this year is be my own best friend, and I don't want to be beating up on myself. But at the same time, I know I could have prevented the way I feel today. That brings me to the next thing that I want to talk about, and that is that I think this is going to be the last year that I do a tea advent calendar. I do love tea advent calendars. They're a lot of fun. I love the surprise. I love trying different types of tea. But unless I can find one that is just herbal infusions, I think David's Tea might have one, but I'm not a huge fan of the David's Tea blends. But I mean, we'll see. I don't have to worry about that until next year, and maybe by then I will have some other idea. But right now I am really feeling motivated to limit my caffeine intake starting next year because I do want to finish this advent calendar. And I don't think I ever mentioned this, but my advent calendar this year, because I only have 18 different teas, I did put different teas in the first 18 days. And then from the 19th to the 24th, I don't know what tea will appear on which day, but these will all be repeats. On the 25th, we can choose what tea we want. That's kind of my Vlogmas tradition. This puzzle was a lot of fun, a very good companion to my coffee chit chat with you. Decaf coffee acquired. I am about to have a quick and simple dinner, but before I do that, I want to taste the tea. The color is beautiful. This is the Royal Dessert, and it's a hibiscus tea with fruits, berries, flower petals, cherry, and black currant flavor. It smells like hibiscus tea, so it's making my mouth water because of the anticipated tartness. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Ding. Lots of flavor. There's that tartness, but it's very delicious. I can taste the cherry. I can't say I love the cherry though, because it reminds me a little bit of cough syrup, but everything else is really nice. It makes me salivate because of the tartness, and my mouth is still salivating as I'm talking to you, but I like it. I don't think hubby will have liked this tea. I haven't had any caffeine today, except for a tiny taste of the decaf coffee. And most of the time I'm pretty good with drinking decaf. If I have a decaf espresso after dinner, for example, I can still fall asleep. So I think that is not enough caffeine to really affect me, but I'm still feeling quite loopy from overdoing it yesterday and then not having any caffeine today. I was on the couch for quite a bit after my team meeting and after doing a bit of work for the writing studio. I'm feeling better now, and the good news is that I don't have a caffeine withdrawal headache. Knock on wood. I thought I was starting to get one at around 1:30 or so, which makes sense because yesterday I finished drinking my bubble tea at 3:30, and I'm usually done drinking my caffeine by around like noon or 12:30 at the very latest. So that was 3 hours after I usually finish all of my caffeine. And I could feel kind of like the tension, which I still feel a little bit now, but it didn't turn into a full-blown headache. I think because I took a nap right at that time. I woke up feeling very groggy, but I just stayed on the couch for a while, cuddled with Lulu, played some of the games on my phone, looked at who I might want to pick for hockey tonight, browsed the internet a little bit, bought hubby a little present, which I'm really excited about. After that little rest, I felt a lot better. The caffeine withdrawal headache might still arrive, but I'm really glad I made it through the majority of today without one. I am planning to have my coffee crisp for dessert. I wanted to mention that even though there is caffeine in chocolate, that does not affect me, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe there just isn't enough caffeine in chocolate. If I have chocolate for dessert, I can still go to bed no problem. I guess it's kind of like my sensitivity to lactose. Hubby and I were just talking about this the other day because I had all of that cheese on our cheese and charcuterie board, and that doesn't affect me at all. So I can have cheese and I can have yogurt pretty much as I want. I can also have ice cream. It's really only drinking milk and having a really milky milkshake. So I think caffeine is similar in that I have a sensitivity, but it seems like it has to be a certain amount or a certain preparation for it to really affect me. So I'm glad I can eat as much chocolate as I want because I love chocolate. And I can also, for the most part, drink tea every day without feeling jittery, but I just don't want to have that caffeine withdrawal headache, which is why I want to not drink tea every single day or caffeinated tea every single day. I still will have a warm beverage like an herbal infusion. This is high on my list though, breaking my caffeine dependence, because of just how bad I felt last night physically and then this morning, and then I was really down on myself and really disappointed in myself. And thankfully that has passed. My team meeting with the writing studio really helped me get out of my own head. And then I felt a lot better afterwards. I felt a lot more self-compassion. I realized I can learn something from this experience, and I do have a plan moving forward, so I don't need to sink into that shame spiral and be upset or disappointed with my past self. It's fine. I can move forward, and that is what I'm going to do, even though there will be ups and downs with my mood and how I feel physically and potential headaches and such. I'm like ready for it. That is going to be it for Vlogmas Days 12 and 13. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!